Hey, I'm Rob.
I'm Chris.
We are Enter Shikari.
And you're watching Shout Loud TV.
This is the second to last gig of your tour right now, and you're here in Cologne. How does it feel to finally play bigger venues and not be this small band from St. Albans in London and do stuff and have a big production?
Feels great. Yeah, it's we've been coming across to mainland Europe for 10 years now. So we've been sort of working at it for quite a long time. And to be able to, the best thing about it is the extra creativity that comes with it, the being able to have more production. Like we can't, when we're doing small shows, we really can't afford to bring any kind of production. And so it's a lot more fun, and we can add a lot more sort of creativity to the whole show when we have the budget for it. So for the European shows to be sort of getting up to the same level as our UK ones, it feels really good. It feels like we're giving them as much as we can, and so yeah, it's good fun.
Okay, cool. When you think about your albums and the change of sound, what do you think is the natural factor that makes you change stuff up, and the writing especially?
Sorry, what was that?
When you think about the writing process and the sounds of your albums, when you think back to Take to the Skies and the older ones, what were the key influences to change your sound in general? Or does it come naturally for you?
I think that the main factor was just we got more and more confident. Obviously Take to the Skies was a collection of songs that we'd written from the age of like 18 to 23. And then when it went into writing the second album, that was the first time we'd ever been like put in a room and forced to write. So I think that was quite a scary time. But once we'd done that, and the third and fourth album, we just got more and more confident in our abilities and more and more confident in pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones. And I think that's where we get our best results. So that's all we've ever really tried to do, is try and just write music that we find exciting or different.
And when you write the music, do you all put ideas into the room? Do you just come up with ideas individually, or is it more a group process?
It usually starts with Rao. He's the most creative one in the band, so he'll get like riffs or ideas of sort of rhythms or structures of this, that, electronic or guitar-based stuff. Then kind of bring his ideas to us, and we'll all pitch in and sort of throw in our 2 cents and yeah, sort of work together on finishing and moulding the finished piece.
Okay, sounds interesting. Explain the light show concept of this tour for me, please.
The light show?
Yeah.
Well, I think this tour is the most hands-on we've been with any of our lighting designs, and especially like the video screen and the video content was all created by us and by Rao, so it's all very much in sync with all the music. So yeah, it was a real fun journey, really, from getting to where we are. Really, it was just really good fun, and like Rob said, it's allowed us to be a lot more creative with what we want the show to be, and yeah.
Well, I was just saying, unfortunately, even though our shows have been getting bigger over here, they didn't quite get big enough that we were able to bring our quadraphonic sound with us.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing that we've been doing in the UK. So we worked a lot on the set. Noise is going around all people's sets. So there's basically 2 speakers at the front and 2 at the back, which was an awful lot of work, for like months of work for us. But when it finally did happen, it was like an incredible experience. So yeah, hopefully if it keeps growing out here and keeps getting bigger, then we'll be able to bring it out.
So it's sort of a thing for you. It's just not a momentary thing of this moment or this year, so you want to keep it
Yeah, we'd
Yeah,
like to do it.
we had so much fun with it, and it sounded so good, and we were blown away by it. We didn't. I mean, when we were sort of writing and programming the quadraphonic sound, we just had a little, it was in Chris's spare room. We had two sets of small studio monitors set up. It sounded good in there, but we didn't really know what it was going to sound like in a giant room. And then we got into the giant room with a big PA, and it was just mind-blowing. So we would love, it's just the band and the music is sort of one level, one layer, and then there's the production and the lights behind it, and then there's the quadraphonic sound on top of that is just another thing that sort of rolled into this big onslaught, this barraging of sights and sounds. It was a real assault on the senses. It was just another layer and another texture that added to the whole experience, and we'd love the European audiences to be able to experience that as well. So hopefully next time, if we come to bigger venues again, next time we come back.
So maybe next time you're going to play the Palladium next doors. It's a bit bigger. Maybe I think 4,000 people.
Yeah, if we do that,
you can bring the quadraphonic sound then.
Quadraphonic sound then, yeah.
Great. So you remixed your album basically for Hospitalized Records. Mm-hmm. Explain what your decision was. Why did you do that?
Pretty much just because we could. We're all massive fans of all the artists on Hospital Records, and we'd worked with them previously. I think of the second album, a couple of remixes have been done by a couple of their artists, so we had a connection with them. The idea just came up between us and them, and it just seemed like why wouldn't we do this once the option was there?
Okay, so you've always been influenced by drum and bass and stuff, basically, so it just comes naturally for you?
Yeah, just the
experiment, especially with Shikari sound system?
Yeah, from the beginning, our music has lent itself very well to being remixed by different dance genres. Like Chris said, we know this particular label from having worked with them in the past, and the idea got thrown around, and we were just all for it. It was once someone had suggested it, there was no turning back, really.
Okay, so you always tackle pretty political stuff in your lyrics. When you think about, for example, Anesthetist and other tracks, do you think more bands nowadays have to voice their opinion with politics and things, or do you think it's just your personal urge?
I don't think more bands have to. Personally, I think more bands should. There's so much going on in the world right now that everyone is experiencing together, that I don't know why so many bands just focus on their very sort of small focus point of view, troubles they have with their ex-girlfriend or something, for example. There's a lot of art should really be like a reflection of the society around you, and any time you turn on your phone and look at Twitter, or you turn on the TV, or you read a newspaper, or you see anything, every single day we're getting told this, that and the other, and for us to be one of the few bands that are talking about these kind of social issues is shocking, I think. I don't know why. In the past, music has been a real sort of a call to arms, almost. Sort of people like Bob Dylan, Bob Marley, and John Lennon. They're all talking about social and political issues constantly, but it didn't seem like no one asked them, "Oh, why are you singing about this kind of stuff?" It's a bit odd that it was a natural. We shouldn't be the odd one out, It shouldn't seem strange that we're singing about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, when you think about what your plans are for this year, can you tell us anything that's supposed to be upcoming for this year?
This year? We've got 2 shows left on this tour, and then we're going to head over to the States for 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, I think. And then after that, it's kind of into festivals. We've got a few dotted around, yeah, that's about it. That's about as far as we planned. I think after that we'll look at starting to write again, and yeah, get stuck into album number 5.
How does it work with you guys when you think about writing? You don't have any label, any limitations. You can just basically say when you want to write an album, or is it differently?
Well, pretty much, but I mean, we have a lot of people that work with us, a network around us that obviously help with our sort of album campaigns and, you know, our management. We sort of, as much as we would hate to think of it like this, in a way there is the sort of the business side of it, the fact that we need to earn a living from it, so we can't have sort of too long without playing a gig, for example, because otherwise we'll run out of money and we'll have to, I don't know, God forbid, get a real job somewhere. So we do, you know, there's a lot of sort of focus on, well, not a lot of focus. There's sort of structures to the way that, you know, albums are released and tours are done, so that you get to keep going, basically, you know, do what we do. So, but at the same time, if we didn't want to, we could quite easily just say, no, we're not going to. So, yeah, it is up to us, but it also at the same time, you know, we've got families to feed, and and so we kind of need to, and also we want to, because it's fun, and it's what we do. I'm kind of rambling a bit now. I'm gonna
So still after all these years, it's just more like fun rather than a job or something you need to do? That's great.
I mean, there are different bits to it, but most of it's fun.
Yeah, it's all still really enjoyable. I think, yeah, we're really lucky that, you know, we're doing this 13 years and we still get just as big a kick out of it as we always did. So.
Okay, thanks guys, that's it, and I hope you enjoy the show.